You notice it in small, humiliating moments. A pause after you speak, just long enough to realize no one is going to respond. A conversation that flows smoothly around you, as if your presence were optional. Ideas you offered casually reappear later, louder, coming from someone else, and suddenly they matter. You don't interrupt. You don't demand attention. You tell yourself it's not a big deal. But something tightens in your chest anyway, because this isn't about ego. It's about something older, quieter, more painful. You learned long ago that drawing attention came with a cost. That being noticeable could invite criticism, rejection, emotional withdrawal, or subtle punishment. So you adapted, not by shrinking visibly, but by disappearing strategically. You became agreeable, low friction, easy to overlook. And here is the paradox, the uncomfortable truth most people never name. The behaviors that once kept you safe are now the very signals that place you at the bottom of social hierarchies. Invisibility worked in environments where attention was dangerous. But in adult social systems, invisibility is interpreted as irrelevance. So now, even when you're competent, even when you're kind, even when you're deeply perceptive, you get passed over. Not because you lack value, but because you're broadcasting the wrong signals silently. Social hierarchies are not decided by confident speeches or dominance displays. They're shaped by micro-signals, subtle cues processed faster than conscious thought. Psychology calls this status attribution, the brain's rapid assessment of who matters, who leads, and who can be ignored. These judgments happen below awareness, before words, before logic. One critical mechanism at play here is neuroception, the nervous system's ability to detect safety, threat, and social rank without conscious input. When someone learned early that visibility was unsafe, their nervous system encodes a strategy: minimize impact. This creates submissive signaling, not overt weakness, but muted presence. Another key concept is learned inhibition. When expression is repeatedly punished or ignored in childhood, the brain learns to suppress initiative automatically, not as a choice, as reflex. Neurologically, this alters how the default mode network forms identity. Instead of asking, "What do I want to express?" it asks, "How do I avoid standing out?" And finally, there's relational conditioning, the unconscious belief that belonging requires self-erasure. Put simply, other people learn to enter rooms. You learn to blend into them. Not because you were weak, but because your nervous system was trying to keep you safe. There's a specific kind of grief that comes from being unseen while present. Not rejected, not attacked, just skipped. You begin to doubt your own weight in the world. You wonder if you're imagining it. You tell yourself to be grateful, to not make things awkward, to stay reasonable. And slowly, something erodes. Carl Jung warned that what remains unconscious does not disappear. It shapes fate. Your silence becomes a destiny. You sacrificed authenticity for belonging. You learned that staying agreeable felt safer than being fully expressed. And the fear underneath it all is devastatingly simple. If I take up space, I will lose connection. So you soften your voice. You pre-edit your thoughts. You wait for permission that never comes. And the world, brutally, efficiently, responds to what you signal. Not with cruelty, but with indifference. This is the invisible grief, grieving the version of yourself that never learned it was allowed to arrive fully. This pattern doesn't stay abstract. It shows up everywhere. You might notice that you speak last or not at all, even when you have clarity. Feel ignored in group settings without knowing why. Downplay your opinions to avoid friction. Let conversations move on without reclaiming space. Struggle to assert boundaries without guilt. Feel exhausted after social interactions, not from conflict, but suppression. In work environments, you may be competent but overlooked, reliable but replaceable, valued privately, dismissed publicly. In relationships, you may attract people who dominate emotional space, not because they are cruel, but because you make room by default. Here is the critical reframe. These are not personality traits. They are coping strategies. They were learned in systems where visibility felt unsafe. They are reversible. Unlearning begins with witnessing, not forcing. Noticing the moment your body holds back. Recognizing the reflex to stay quiet. Naming the cost without shaming the strategy. You stop saying, "That's just how I am," and start saying, "That's how I survived." And survival does not get to decide your future. Healing is not about becoming loud, dominant, or performative. It is about reclaiming presence. Practices like inner child reparenting teach the nervous system that expression no longer equals danger. Somatic awareness helps the body tolerate being seen without collapsing or bracing. Shadow work reclaims the parts of you that learn to hide, your certainty, your anger, your desire to matter. You learn, slowly, that taking up space does not destroy connection, that visibility does not invite catastrophe, that your presence is not an intrusion. There's a quiet power in entering a room without apology, in finishing your sentence, in allowing silence to wait for you. You were never meant to disappear. You became invisible to survive. Now, you're allowed to exist fully. The goal was never to be fixed. It was to stop living as if you had to earn the right to be noticed. If this resonated, you are not alone, and you are never insignificant. You were simply trained to stay small. And now, you get to choose differently. Not to dominate, not to perform, but to finally arrive. If this spoke to you, consider sharing it with someone who learned to disappear too. And if you want to keep exploring the hidden psychology behind patterns like this, subscribe. Not to become someone else, but to become visible as who you already are.